Hey, it's Marcella here. I want to talk for a little bit about setting appropriate expectations for yourself for the transformational path. I was just talking with one of you recently, and you were saying, if I can't do this perfectly, then screw it. Why bother, right? Who cares? So, as we were working through that belief, right, I either have to be completely perfect at the academy or whatever else I'm doing, healing path in my life, or why bother? As we were working through this, what we began to talk about was that, in this culture that is saturated with imagery and media, we have this expectation that the transformational path should always feel good. That if we're really doing it perfectly, if we're working our transformation perfectly, then, we're like, oh, we're just like sitting meditating and we're so pure and we're so virtuous and we're so skinny and we're eating little plates of salad and and we're doing perfect yoga poses and like that everything should somehow be this like perfect scene. So, we what I think we do as women is we take all that projected perfectionism and we weaponize it against ourselves so that if we're not doing it perfectly, then we must be failures and fuck ups and all the rest of it. So, actually, when you really dissect the nuts and bolts of the transformational path, what does it involve? Whew, it involves a lot of work. It involves healing trauma. It involves having difficult conversations with yourself and other people. It involves setting boundaries. It involves, having to prioritize yourself in your schedule. It involves, working with your body in a very intimate way that might not be comfortable. Do you see? It's a lot of frickin' work. So that brings me to the notion of clean pain and dirty pain. And this teaching on clean pain and dirty pain, I picked this up from one of my mentors, a man named Resma Menakem, who does somatic abolitionism. He works with racism and racial issues through a somatic approach, through the body. And he learned this from one of his mentors. So here's what it is. Basically, our life and embarking on the transformational path, it's a choice between pain and pain, right? We don't get to just like parachute down into like this realm of pleasure where there are no sharp edges and so on. It's a choice between pain and pain. But within that choice, there's clean pain and there's dirty pain. So let's look at clean pain and dirty pain for a moment from the point of view of like, how do I start my day? Because this is what we were just talking about. This is what I was just talking about with one of you. So the morning. Okay, so let's say my intention in the morning is to get up, sit up in bed, do what I call meditation, just meditate in bed for 15 minutes, maybe read some inspirational literature, maybe write in my journal, maybe say some prayers, do some tapping, etc. Like, I have this idea of like a whole ritual that I want to do to start my day. Okay. Instead, what I do is I wake up, I grab my phone, which is right on my night table, and I start reading all sorts of crap on the news and social media, etc. Right? Okay. So here's the clean pain, here's the dirty pain. So either way, it's painful. So the clean pain, the pain of starting your morning routine in a way that feels congruent to you, in a way that supports you. It's like this. Oh, I don't want to get up to meditate. I don't want to do. Oh, but you get yourself up and you sit up and you meditate and you do it. Okay? So there, the clean pain is like there's this hump of resistance. It's like a big blob of resistance that you have to overcome. And you do it. And then what happens here? You make better choices throughout your day. Your day gets easier. Your boss at work is a little bit easier to deal with. Your spouse, your children, your responsibilities. There is more fuel in your tank to meet your day, and there's more of you that is present to the day and to yourself. Clean pain. So clean pain is essentially that initial resistant pain that when you overcome it, it yields dividends of feeling the way you want to feel and living the life you want to live. Do you see? You get results, in other words. And clean pain is hard at the beginning. But when you establish, for example, your morning routine, like, if you can relate to that clean pain and acknowledge it as such, it diminishes over time. And then this becomes what you actually want. You actually start to crave it rather than feeling resistant to it. So that's clean pain. Okay, over here's the dirty pain. Here I am in the morning. I don't want to do my morning thing. I'm collapsing into the resistance and I'm just grabbing my phone and I'm binging on my phone. Okay. So this is in the academy several years ago, we used to talk about getting a case of the fuck it's, right? It's like, oh, fuck it. Fuck it. I'm just going to go on my phone. Fuck it. I'm just going to go to my phone. So we collapse. We go into the fuck it's. We go to the phone. We kind of numb out, right? I mean, it's scrolling through a phone. It's basically the same as eating a bag of chips, doing whatever, just checking out. And it doesn't really provide pain relief. It just provides anesthesia. But then what happens over here is we feel disappointed in ourselves. We tell ourselves we have no discipline. We tell ourselves we can't do it. We can't have what we want, blah, blah, blah. And then we launch into the morning from that frame. And then what happens? Our kids get on our nerves. Our spouse gets on our nerves. Our boss gets on our nerves. We get on our own nerves. We feel bad about ourselves. And then we reach for the cheap, fast, easy foods that don't really serve us. So I think this is a really important thing to understand, that there is going to be pain. There's going to be discomfort on the transformational path. But the choice, one pain is clean, will give you dividends of growth and transformation. And the other one is dirty pain that just makes you feel worse about yourself and your world. So my question to you is, what do you choose? And again, going back to the archetype of the queen is she who makes conscious choices. So if you're here, you choose the dirty pain, choose it wholeheartedly with a knowledge of, okay, these are the consequences. This is going to be the fallout. If I choose this on a regular basis, I mean, once in a while is not a big deal, right? But if I'm choosing this as a way of life, here's what I'm going to get. If I'm choosing clean pain as a way of life, here's where I'm headed. So, I wanted to just give you that so that you're not coming into this path or being on this path, setting yourself up for unrealistic expectations that it's all going to be fun and pleasure and feel good and, la-di-da, when in fact that really isn't going to be the case. So I hope this is helpful. Feel free to post some comments. I would love to continue this conversation in the chat, in the discussion, and let me know what you think. All right. Lots of love. Bye for now.